Hello, it's me, Andrew. I'm gonna do a little recap thing for all the music I listened to this year because I felt like it. Alright. Here's my top albums of 2023 in order. Um, I listened to a lot less new music this year than I thought I did. Like, I listened to a lot of new music, but there's like only, these are like the only four albums I listened to all year that are from 2023, which is very shocking. But Wall Socket number one. This album is really, 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 really good. Um, and I cried to it a bunch because it is also very sad. But um, Locals, Girls Like Us, featuring Gabby Start. That's a banger. Cops and Robbers, banger. Um, what else? There's like two more tracks on it that are like you can just listen to them. They're very very good. Johnny Johnny Johnny. Ignoring the lyrical content. Huge banger. Very good. There's one more that I'm forgetting, but I know there's another really good track on that album that is just very listenable outside of the context of the album. Second favorite album. I don't know if this is an album. It's an EP. I don't really know the difference between an EP and an LP. I think an LP is just a lot longer, like 12 tracks or more, something like that. Anyway, this EP is really 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 good. There's like there's only like six tracks on it. It's only like 13 minutes. But five of the tracks on it are in like my top 20 tracks of all time. They're like really, really good songs. Um, I got two of these CDs, and I'm gonna give one of them to my brother for Christmas because he also likes this artist and this album a lot, which is strange. Anyway, this album is really good. Um, Call Me If You Get Lost, The Estate Sale by Tyler the Creator, deluxe album. Um, the only other deluxe album I can even like think that I might know of is Donda 2. I think Donda 2 was a deluxe album technically, and I remember that sucked. So this has restored the reputation of deluxe albums as far as I'm concerned. Um, I'm turning this music down. It has been kind of loud. Anyway, as far as deluxe albums go, this has sort of saved the reputation for me. I really really like this. I think it added a lot to the album. I think I think a lot of the best stuff on Call Me If You Get Lost is on the deluxe part of it now. Anyway, uh, I'm kind of upset Tyler didn't drop like a new like independent project, and I have to wait 2 more years. But it's not a huge deal, cause I am a patient person, and I've been listening to Tyler long enough to know that if I just like suck it up and wait the 2 years, then there will probably be good music on the other end of it. New Blue Sun by Andre 3000. First Andre 3000 solo project in like a really long time, except for his weird jazz thing that he did a while ago. I was not really paying attention when I listened to this album both of the times that I listened to it. One time I was in an art museum, and the other time I was making a collage with some friends. But it serves that purpose very well. I don't know how good this music would be if I did just kind of sit down and listen to it front to back like I usually do with most albums. But uh, when listening to it while doing other things, very good album. It's like purpose built for that kind of thing. It feels like, um, which is probably a little rude. Like I'm sure Andre 3000 wouldn't like to hear me say that the album is like made to do other stuff too. But it is very easy to put on with other people around and do things too. Anyway, new finds. This is everything that I've started listening to a lot this year, but is not actually from 2023. Um, Honorable mention. I started listening to this track while making the slideshow, or not this track, this album while listening to the slideshow. Very good shoegaze album. I wish I found this way sooner. It's from 2021. It's by Quanic, called Canopsia. Really, really good. I really like this album. I wish I found this like way earlier, because it's like exactly the type of shoegaze that I like listening to. Anyway, back to the regular list. Because I'm young, arrogant, and hate everything you stand for, this is a really good album. I think, well, most of the albums that I put in this list are. But yeah, it's really loud. But sometimes you just want to listen to really absurdly loud and busy music, and that's why I like listening to this album sometimes. It is very good. It gets to be a bit one note. If you listen to it front to back by like the last couple of tracks, last like 3 4 tracks, it gets to sound a bit samey, but it's not a huge deal because it sounds very good. So I can sort of accept it getting a bit monotonous because at least it's good monotony. The Fat of the Land by The Prodigy. I have been trying to make an effort to listen to stuff that is sort of foundational to a lot of the genres I like, and that is why I listened to this album, and this album is really good. Um, you can really feel its influence, and or at least I can feel its influence in a lot of the stuff that I listen to. Not even just like the like fucking anime weeb Y2K or like neo Y2K breakcore type stuff. Like you can hear it in all different types of stuff. It's really interesting. This was a really influential album, and I really like it a lot. There's a lot of bangers on this thing. Narayan, Narayan. I think that it's the name of it. It's like track like 9 or 10 or something like that. It's a really good track. I really like this album. Next album, Transcentral Connection. Various artists. Okay, I kind of did the same thing that I did with New Blue Sun, Andre 3000 with this one, where I just kind of put it on whenever I'm driving. But it's really good for that. Very similar to the stuff I have on right now, which is what? It's probably the Wax Doctor. Yeah, it's the Wax Doctor. All right. It's very similar to that this type of music where it's music where you just put on and you have it on in the background. And sometimes I listen to this type of music, like just like sit down front to back to an album, and that can be fun whenever I find the time to do it. But that's kind of it's kind of a bit harder to convince yourself to do that with an album like this than it is to do it with an album like Tyler the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost. Next album. See the next part of the dream, Paranual. This came out in 2021, I think. Solo project from South Korea. This is a really good shoegaze album. I like this a lot. It does the same. It has the same sort of problems that Because I'm Young, Arrogant, and Hate Everything You Stand For has, where it gets a bit one note. It gets a bit samey once you get to the end of the album, but that's fine because this album is really good. This album is so good it inspired me to make a poster for a graphic design class. Here it is. Or not a poster. It was like a fake 4-page magazine spread. I don't like the fact that this blue is this blue, but my teacher told me it had to be that color for accessibility, which is fine because we love accessibility. Anyway, next album, In Rainbows, Radiohead. I listened to this mostly through the From the Basement live album set. That was a really good set. It's probably the best live set I've ever heard. I don't know what they did, but it was like a different caliber from other live sets. Like, the highest caliber of live set before that was like a lot of the Tiny Desk concert stuff I've seen. But this From the Basement live set for Radiohead's In Rainbows is on a different level. It is crazy. Listening to the studio recording though, they get to do a lot. They have a lot more techniques at their disposal, and it is very interesting going from listening to the live set primarily to the studio recording, and it's a really fun thing to do. The studio recording sort of blew my mind. Next album, Food. I first listened to MF Doom way back in 2021 in December on a plane flight to Arizona. And I remember I listened to Mad Villainy, and I was gonna be like, this year, this winter break starting right now, I'm gonna listen to a new album every day. And I tried to do that, and I started with MF Doom's Mad Villainy, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as I had heard like sort of legendary things about MF Doom, and I expected to like sort of immediately fall in love with him, which I didn't until I listened to this album. I listened to this album a lot this spring when I was in class and I was driving to and from class every day. This album is really good. I enjoy a lot of the tracks off this album. Sort of like as a concept album, the thing it does with like a lot of the sound collage type stuff, I really really like. This album's great. MF Doom is great. Uh, I would love a CD of this. Next album, True Pal Blue by Cortex. Okay, this I can accept. I'm a bit of a dweeb for this. A lot of the tracks on True Pal Blue by Cortex are sampled by MF Doom on Food, and that's why I started listening to this album. But outside of the context of all the stuff that it's been sampled in, because it's been sampled by a lot more than just MF Doom, but outside of all the sampling context, this album on its own is still a really really good standalone album. I really like listening to this. Great car music. It's sort of in that Andre 3000 New Blue Sun uh, sort of transcontinental or transcentral connection sort of area where you just kind of put it on and you do other things, but it's really really good at that job. I listened to this when we had friends over and I was making a collage. Went great. Uh, Last album, I think. Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette. I have listened to Jagged Little Pill or singles off of Jagged Little Pill before this. Obviously, it's inescapable if you have been alive for the last 20 years to not listen to a single off this album. But I got this on CD twice accidentally. But I got this on CD this year, and I listened to it in my car religiously on a bunch of long car rides whenever I ran out of other CDs to listen to. So I probably listened to this like front to back like 40 times this year or something like that. It is a really, really, really good album. I like it a lot. Um, I think Ironic sucks as a song, even outside of the whole Redditor, oh, that isn't really irony thing. I think Ironic is just not a very good song. But I think the first like 8 or 9 is Ironic the ninth track? I don't know. For like the first like 2/3 of this album, it's really, really strong. And I like it a lot. And I think that's the last album. Oh, here's my Spotify Wrapped and stuff. Yeah, Machine Girl. Oh, Sam Wilkes. I miss Sam Wilkes. There's this. Sam Wilkes is a guy who does like clarinet, jazzy stuff. There's like one song he made called Welcome that I listened. Oh, it's my top song. Would you look at that? I listened to that song like 300 times in like one weekend back in January. Can I zoom in on this? Oh yeah. These are all the CDs. These were like my go-to CDs this year. As you see, Jagged Little Pill is up there. I forget the name of this. This is really good. This is Roni Size, and I also forget the name of this. This is Platypus Records. This is just like another sort of trance IDM break kind of jungle-y music type thing. This is really good. This is Nordtech Collection number 1 by the Tawana Collective, I think. It's like northern Mexican cowboy music inspired techno stuff. It's really, really interesting, and I like listening to it a lot. A lot of cool stuff in there. This is the Lost Levels. This is like some 2006 British indie rock thing where they use a lot of like SNES, or not even SNES, older than that. Like, I don't want to say 8-bit because I'm not 100% sure it's 8-bit, but it uses like older sound chips, really predominantly, and its sound sort of. Anyway, okay, that's all my music stuff for 2023. I don't know what compelled me to make this. I might do this again next year. Who knows? All right, goodbye.